How does a Japanese entrepreneur transform her passion for social impact into a cutting-edge fintech company that's changing the way small businesses access funding in Malaysia? Hello and welcome to Season 10 of the Womenpreneur Asia podcast, and I'm your host, Krista Goon. My mission is to uncover the stories and strategies of Asian women entrepreneurs to inspire and guide you on your own entrepreneurial journey. This episode is brought to you by Redbox Studio. Today's episode features Fumiko Inada, the founder and CEO of Bee Informatica in Malaysia, a digital microfinance company dedicated to supporting small and micro businesses. Fumiko shares how her experiences across Asia shaped her vision, the challenges she faced as a woman founder in fintech, and how she's using technology to make financial access faster, fairer, and more inclusive. And that's not all. Her story is interesting in that she herself experienced firsthand the challenges of being a startup, where she had to pitch her idea to hundreds of people before she finally secured her funding from angel investors and venture capitalists. Fumiko and I had a thoughtful and inspiring conversation about entrepreneurship, social impact, technology, and the courage to start a business in a new country. Let's get into Fumiko's story. Hello, Fumiko. Welcome to Womenpreneur Asia.
Hi, Krista. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Fumiko, today I think we're going to have an interesting conversation because of two reasons. One is we're going to talk about women and money. And two, we're going to talk about you as a founder of a tech company. Before we get into those segments of your business and your life, take us back to the beginning. What sparked your journey into fintech and ultimately leading you to start your business?
That's a big, deep question. So there are two stories behind it. So first line is since I'm kids and until university students, I very frequently involved in the volunteer activities, and especially I'm interested in how the people can be independent as economically or to keep in touch with the social network. So in the students, I join in the NGO activities in Vietnam. And so that is for offering the shelter for street kids in Vietnam or Cambodia. So I'm very curious to how the people to grown up as in they need some community, and also they need the peer, also there's somebody who the adult and who cheer up us to naturally educate them for society rules and a little bit technique and to how to generate income. So those several items need people to be independent. So I'm very curious about those mechanisms all over countries. I mean, for the worldwide, it's the same rules. So I want to, in the future, I want to involve with those activities as my career. But it's quite difficult at that time, and I just graduated university. It's not that certain job to involve with this kind of. It's kind of volunteer, but not the job itself. So I'm still wondering. Then the NGOs people recommended me to start your job in a certain established company to get skill set first. So then I decided to go into the financial sector. I was very interested in finance in the other hand. So for 11 years, I worked in the finance sector, first central bank in Japan, also the A.T. Kearney is a business consultant in financial sector, also the Rakuten Securities as a sales or marketing generally, equipped some financial experience overall. So after that, I make a decision myself, and so to go back to my original missions in support for the people who to be independent, especially in emerging country, has more deep social issues rather than Japan, I feel at that time. So I try to find the cross-section with these two activities. Then finally, I find the microfinance as the keyword for my life. And then also I read the books for the Dr. Yunus, who are the founder of Grameen Bank and who are the Nobel-oriented of the Nobel Peace Awards, also joining in the social activities and study tour in Bangladesh, to visit in Bangladesh with some colleague, then to work around, to travel around all over microfinance local institution and how do they proceed in their activities. So it's really surprising to see it is sustainable, it is business, but still the focus is the helping the people, especially poverty, to be independent, to get tools or to generate income. And there are so many tips to how to make sustainable as this business. And so I learned a lot. Those activities very impressed me where I should go. Then I make my decision to involve with the microfinance as my career, and also try to do the new type of business, like digitalize, modernize, because this industry is very old, very after 50 years. So I want to, how can I say, update it to the latest technologies. Those are the motivation to start my startup in Malaysia.
I know you mentioned Rakuten and all that, but did you come with tech background when you started it?
No, honestly speaking, at the beginning, nothing. Purely working in very general financial industry. So at the beginning, I don't have any single tech backgrounds at that time. But coincidentally, while I'm staying in Bangladesh for 6 years, after 3 years, very coincidentally, I had a chance to work in an offshore development company, means IT company, in Japanese company in Bangladesh. I was working as a general manager and to do management of the engineer staff, but also helping the project for the fintech project of the local entrepreneur, Bangladeshi entrepreneur who do the fintech and to do the voice-to-text technologies, to creating the accounting process to be digitalized in the rural area. So it's quite interesting and innovative solutions, and we are supporting as a developer, software parts. Gradually, I had a chance to learn the project management in IT, and that was a challenge. What's the thinking pattern of engineer? But it's good enough for me, and to find out what's basic frame of the technologies. Of course, I'm not engineer, though I can work with engineer to discuss the project together. So that's the starting point, and I found that it is amazing tools, and then to offer the good service in easy way, cheaper way, also very secure way, even in an emerging country in the rural side. So without this, we cannot do at a startup. So technology is, I feel, the best solution to solve the social issue in emerging countries.
I think Bangladesh, since you said you lived for 6 years in Bangladesh, it must have left a strong and deep impression on you.
Definitely. That's the origin of how I created the social mission in the deeper side, because while I involved with many local people, and every weekend the IT executive, they invited me to their family house to share a dinner time. So they very truly want to contributed for alleviation the poverty, or because of they originally coming from the rural side. Many people coming from rural side to come to Dhaka, as a capital city, then to study and also get the job or to become engineer, to be independent. So they want to contribute it for their family or relative in rural side, and to provide them better access to the better service or education or job. Majority of them having similar mission to want to contribute it to alleviation poverty in Bangladesh, then I found that this is what I want to involve with, to work with, or to develop with the similar missions of similar service. That's why first I chose the co-founder as a Bangladeshi CTO while in the same industry in the IT sector. So he was entrepreneur at that time, and then to run his own business, but already he want to exit. Because of already 20 years passed, he want to find a second life. So I found that that's coincidentally the good timing for us and to set up the new company with the new service and to do the similar missions together.
I know you had a co-founder and a partner, someone who knows IT and knows Bangladesh. Right. But as a woman, what were your feelings about starting out something like this? And this is not something like a service-based business. This is something that involves licenses and, well, literally you're like a bank, right? You have to take money and lend money. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So how do you feel back then when you first started?
For me, I have very less fear. I very frequently go foreign countries. Vietnam is my first emerging country when I'm a student, and also I like the travel around different countries at that time. So for me, and also I study in the UK when I'm 31 years old as a higher study, and the master degree I got. And I already less fear to traveling around or staying in the foreign countries itself. When I start the startup, I think have the working experience over 15 years already, and for 39 years old, I think it's good enough for me as very, very equipped general work experience, especially in the financial sector or management job. And I think it's quite good for me as an age or experience enough and to start something new startup by myself. And also I had a co-founder for technology side. So honestly speaking, I have very less fear than only to do is I really need to start something. And because of almost 10 years since I going to higher study in UK, since at that time when I'm 31, I already decided I have to do something different from my 20s. I found it during staying in Bangladesh, I found it the business approach is my directions, not NGO approach, but business is sustainable. So this is a very important choice for me and incentivize me to continue going on the same missions. So I really feel confident.
You were saying that, so you knew for a fact that you wanted to choose a business as a vehicle to make social change or to transform communities and societies instead of NGO. What was that? Right. What was that difference? I mean, I'm sure there was a big difference between NGO and business.
Exactly.
What made you choose the business path?
So business means usually the service receiver should pay something as a reward, right? When you receive the service as a business, you should pay the fee. But NGO is usually the service receiver don't need to pay, as usually the receiver will be the bottom of the pyramid. In this case, it's very, very poor for the income or not sustainable in themselves. So those are the target of the NGO's target for the bottom of the pyramid of the population pyramid. And so they couldn't earn themselves or somehow with this many reasons or very vulnerable after the disaster or something very deep reasons, and they couldn't generate income. So those are the target of the NGOs. For the business, which target a slightly more upper side, or middle side of the pyramid than
like the middle class. Are you talking about the middle class? Yeah.
Right. middle class at least. Then so they have a capacity to earn something by themselves, to do some business or to work in some other institutions and to get the salaries or whatever. Then so they can pay because they already get income. So those are and if they can pay the service, so our service provider can generate income ourselves, then no need to get any
donors or funding, right?
Investment, blah, blah, blah. So ourselves as a sustainable, we already get the engine from the payer, then we can also remaining some profit, and profit can use for the new investment in the next terms, and then we can continue for development for the new devices or new service in the next level. So the business is usually more robust on a more sustainable as the entity. But of course, maybe I feel that these two are different missions, and of course both are necessary in the society. So it depends on your choice. So I prefer to involve with the business rather than NGO because of this business has the rapid growth usually. They have a many chance. It depends on the strategy, and so I like rapid growth and I like technologies. So technologies need investment, and because of great engineer usually they're very expensive. So that's why I choose the business rather than NGOs.
Yeah, the great thought process put in there, because usually, when people talk about social transformation, they would always think of an NGO or NPO, right? But
not bad actually.
Not bad. Both are needed, but because you need technology to scale your business, right? Technology to scale and to grow your business and to also service your customers. And therefore, you chose the business as a vehicle for you to get to where you want to go. Now, let's talk about what it is that you offer. So, Fumiko, tell us a little bit about what is the offerings of your business.
Our general service is microfinances. It's the same as very, very traditional things. But what we equipped with the new technologies, that's a very different part from traditional microfinance. Usually you find a traditional microfinance as the word, and you maybe come up with in the rural side, people gathering, and then to the loan officer visiting the village, then to teach the women's accounting, bookkeeping, also how to repay back the loan schedule meaning. So those are like a school. Then they teach them. They also offer the jobs, and so they started to work as a group, then to repay bi-weekly. So those are, and this is we call the group lending, and women creating a group 5 in 1, then to sharing the responsibility, the risks as well. So those are the very, very traditional way of microfinance. We call the Grameen model. It's the Yunus.
The one that started by Dr. Yunus, right?
Exactly. So that is quite a wonderful scheme in the rural area in the emerging country, of course. I prefer to choose a slightly more modern type and also digital type of the solution. So that's why we started in Malaysia, in a different country, at a more modernized society. And we acquired the digital lending license 2 months ago. We just acquired from Malaysian government for the digital lending license. So this is also to enable us and to offering the full process as a digital. At the same time, we offering the updated the version of the system. So this system enable the users to access from anywhere, from mobile or website. So fully digitalized and no need to visit our branch anymore. And also the offering time is so quick. It's from application to distribution, usually only 1 working days, because we have a lot of invention in this process. And first of the clients uploaded the necessary document. We have 4 or 6, depends on person, 4 or 6 necessary documents, but the clients need to upload it by themselves. So we don't need to request anymore. So they self-dependent to upload it.
It's self-service, right? They need to just upload exactly. On their own. Yeah.
And the system itself will self-read it. So no need to staff. But previously, staff need to read and to create in Excel as very manually. But now the system automatically read it, use the OCR technology. We get information instantly. So the staff judge very quick. We do the manually. There are staff doing the online interview for only 10 to 15 minutes. And during this online interview, we examine the client's location, the office location by GPS devices. So it's also technologies and to identify the office address is matched with SSN, the registration address or not. And also to check the signboard over the monitor, the online meeting by camera. So we request for the clients to show their signboard on the entrance. And this is also to identify the company, the real company or not. And also we check the CTOS as their credibility for the delinquency or not. Also we use a psychometric test to whether this business owner is eligible for as a great entrepreneur or not for leadership, communication level, team working. So those the checking point. Finally, we have some question about the financial literacy in case there are so many the external factors involved with the business. So for example, the tax change or system change, or like Trump suddenly to increment the tariff and suddenly for those external environment affected the business. How can you make this business income sustainable and the balance of the income and expenses level? So those are the final questions to check their basic financial literacy level. We finish this within 10 to 15 minutes online. Some part manual like this, but the majority parts already replaced to the digital because of we can already released for the new system in the beginning of April. So we successfully shortened the process period from 3 working days to 1 working days only now. And in the future, we also thinking about online interview lead to AI within a year. So this is our new plan for the next level. If we can successfully replace all the process can be digitalized fully, then maybe we are processing time more shortened to 2 to 3 work hours and our target in a future finally within 10 minutes.
That's amazing. I mean, if you can really automate everything, that will make getting a loan, getting their loan approved actually, right? Getting the loan
Exactly.
approved and disbursed within the same day.
Right. Same day or within hours. Those are the ultimate goals for the small merchant. It's the urgency. I mean, they need the capital very urgently. And so because they need the rapid growth of the business itself, or always small merchant, always lack of cash, always. And so we know because we also, at the last 5 years, we also suffering the similar issues for lack of cash. So we want to help those urgent demands or they cannot access the banks. 70% of the small business cannot access the banking loans at this moment. So we want to solve those issues, financial access issues, by digital way as the digital devices. That's why we want to provide a digital microfinance in Malaysia at this moment.
So since you talked about when you first started out, it was also quite a difficulty and a challenge for your company to get funds. Can I ask, so how are you funded? Are you bootstrapped, VC?
Very recently, we can access VC last year, but first 5 years, we couldn't access the VC. So for a long time, we visited individual investor, for angel investor we called, in Malaysian side, also in Japan side. So I frequently go back to Japan and to find out my neighborhood or my network, my university network, or my previous careers network, or my friends in a startup. And I visited hundred of people and to visiting. Then finally,
You must have pitched a lot. You must have pitched a lot of people.
A lot. I mean, cannot count. It's more than 200, 300, 400 people I did the pitch. And then, so finally we acquired 26 angel investors. First 5 years by the invested by angel investors and small CVC. Finally, after 5 years, last year, August, finally we met one of the VC in Japan. So they saw our pitch, then to impress them and to offer the investment as a very big size of the fund for us. So that is the starting moment for the change our life and as our stage actually to go to the next step. And because of these funds, so we started investment for the new system. That's why after 6 months, we finally acquired the digital license. Because of this new investment makes us hiring the engineer, a Malaysian engineer, to make new lending system with government requirement. So fully, how can I say, equipped with the government requirement, digital requirement. And finally, we are approved by Malaysian government on February.
So right now you are with that Malaysian government approval with the license to be the digital bank, right? For MSMEs.
Digital lending license.
So how did it feel? I mean, right now I'm circling back to the question, right? As a woman founder in a tech startup,
right?
Is it hard to get funding? Even as yourself, you're starting up Bee Informatica. Was it a hard journey?
Definitely very hard. On the other hand, for me, I really appreciated of this opportunity and to find out the keywords of my life. And so after working 11 years working in financial sector, then I was struggling at that time. And what is my career? What is my missions? So still wondering for the first 11 years. But finally, I find a cross-section for the keywords as a microfinance. Then I jumped into Bangladesh for the job. Then I feel like, this is my job and this is my life. And so I really appreciate all this moment, and I don't feel fear because I found it my missions and I found my theme of my life. That's why if I feel challenge in the business itself, it's of course full of challenge always, every day, and especially funding part or marketing part or system part, everything is having challenge. But I feel the satisfaction of my missions. I can overcome all these small challenges. And compare with my 20s, now our challenge is small. But the 20s, the 11 years, I feel more challenged because I gained much salary than now at the time. But I couldn't feel satisfaction of my life at that time because I didn't choose proper location and proper job, and I couldn't get satisfied.
Just now you mentioned that now you can overcome very many of the challenges that you are facing, right? Because now you're a different woman compared to the woman when you're in your 20s. So you have more experience, you have more knowledge, and at the same time you already know that you have found your purpose in life, coming to start your business. When you started Bee Informatica, in the early days, what was the marketing challenge that you faced?
At that time, I have no idea where is our clients and I'm foreigner. I just come to Malaysia and I have very less network, and I have images for who are our clients, like a merchant. Especially at that time, we especially focus on the women entrepreneur and small entrepreneur, like doing F&B or doing retail, selling accessories or the grocery or garment or whatever. So I have images, but I have no images where they are and how to access them. So at the beginning, I joined the business society. They call the BNI, Business Networking Institution. Of course, near my house in Bangsa, I joined in the kind of BNI group and asked them to give me the referral. Of course, I will collaborate with them to giving them their referral. Gradually, I get the network, and then finally, I access event organizer in a Monkiala, the shopping mall center. One of the women providing the space for pop-up space for the small merchant, women merchant. So one by one, she give me the referral, 5 to 10 referral per month. So at that time, that's good enough for our fund size. In almost 1 year, she keep in providing me for those exact referral. And so I really, really appreciate it at the beginning. I get the continuous clients for 1 year. So then gradually our business is growing. And then last year, we finally get the bigger funds. So I switch from those referral type to more systematic digital marketing type. Since last year, we switched to the platform. So in Malaysia, there are some loan matching platforms. There are several, 2 to 3, so such called Ringgit Plus or My iMoney. So they're very renowned platform. So we also listed our name into the list. So it's same list with the banks or P2P lender or other money lenders names. So then thanks for those platforms, there are more like 80 or 100 of the queries and referrals coming continuously to us now. So of course, that depends on the stage of the business. So we should change. But at the beginning, it's this kind of small business association network is quite helpful for me.
I find that you are really quite courageous, I must say, because you came to Malaysia and it's not native. It's not Japan, right? I'm sure in Japan you have your own network of friends and colleagues and previous, universities and all that, people from your own network. But you come to a foreign country and you started your business and you have to literally start from scratch, which means that you have to start finding out where are the people who could be potential customers of your service, right? So I think that's quite courageous of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think so. But I love talking to people, and it's having similar mission so those event organizer of the lady having very exactly same mission with me, or she providing space and I providing finance, and to target is the same small beginner business women in Malaysia. So we are also excited supporting those women.
So now I want to get a little bit specific. How much can a woman in business get as a loan? Is there a minimum? Is there a maximum amount? And what are the interest rate like?
We started the offering loan from 5,000 to a maximum 50K at this moment. So it depends on the business size. So it's not because of your capacity or personality, but it's quite almost 90% of the rely the cash flow volume, means how much you generate income per month. Asking all of the applicants for the bank statement, submissions of the business accounts. So that's the quantitative data. So we lie.
And numbers don't lie, right? Numbers don't lie.
Usually. So yeah, the small entrepreneur, they started from small size, same as me. So don't be afraid of just start, whatever the amount is fine. Then we don't care small or big, and so whatever they earn generate income successfully, how can I say, sustainably, means
they have like consistent cash, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Stably, somehow stably, not like up and down, but almost stably. That's the key point. Stably, sustainably to generate cash. That's important. And so we will calculate how much we can offer the loan. So we will offer, for depends on your cash size. Then it means you can safely pay back within your cash amount, because you need to pay other expenses, office expenses. Also, you can take your salaries. So we will consider deducting those parts. Then we will calculate it for the remaining parts to repay back as a loan. Usually, women is quite afraid of talking about financial issue in front of people. Also, people don't have basic knowledge how to calculate it. So don't be afraid. We will teach you in detail. We have some webinar previously to equip some financial literacy before lending.
And I also noticed you actually have a calculator that people can plug in a number that they want to get a loan for, and then it will show them their monthly repayment, right? How much they need to pay back. And then for them, they can judge how much can I afford to pay back if I ever got this loan. Yeah. So I think that's a very good one. So that anyone who is thinking of getting a loan but not too sure if they can really meet that monthly payment, they can check out your calculator. The other thing I wanted to ask you, has there ever been anyone who defaulted who did not pay back?
Okay, we have several steps, internal steps, and usually 4 steps. So first step, first week, after 1 week, we issuing the warning letter with our name, Bee Informatica. And second week, we will issue another warning letter by our lawyer. So this is more strong. Then third week, if you don't repay back, we will visit your office or shops or house sometimes. And if you are absent, then usually this third step, everything is okay. If we can meet, then we can discuss. Usually people started to repay back. But sometimes people really don't follow our instruction. The fourth step, we will give these loan packages to the collection partner. So they are more professional. They have a call center. Also, they have a collection team, more bigger size of team. So they can accommodate him for more calling more frequently, every 3 times a day, or they can visit more frequently than us. We will pay the sum of the fee for those collection partner, that they will take care of the rest of the day after 1 month. And also we will register in the blacklist of the CTOS. And if you are listed in the blacklist, you cannot get the loan anymore from the financial institution. So it's quite heavy penalty. So we don't recommend it not to register. But after 1 month, if you don't collaborate with us and afford to repay back, so we have to register. So, but before those things, and we always suggest a chance to discussion. And so we have a lot of solutions. We know the small business have trouble. So we listen why you cannot pay. If it's appropriate, we will offer the restructures plan. Usually we offer in loan 1 year, but if you are struggling, we can offer 1.5 years or maximum 2 years extension. Then your repayment amount will decrease in per month. So it will be easier for you to repay with the longer term. And also we can pause sometimes, depends on the reason. For example, someone who's sick and in a hospital, so we can pause 1 month or 2 months sometimes, depends on the situation. Restart again for after 2 months, for example. So there are several solutions we have. So I hope.
So it's not like completely heartless. Like if you don't pay, the collectors will come to your door. It's not that,
No,
right? I mean, at least they can still talk to you and say they've got a difficulty. They had problems this month, and then they want to either extend the like from 1 year to 1.5 years so that they can pay back slowly.
Exactly. That's the biggest differences. I think it's from other money lender or banks. Banks are not so flexible like this, I think, because of the institutions are so big. But we are so small. Ourselves is so small, and we are so kind, how can I say, to try to supporting for the micro SMEs, and because we are also micro, then.
So now that you have been in this business technically for what, 5, 6 years, almost 6 years?
6 years.
Has there been anything that surprises you, like something you've never thought about, something you never realized before you came into the industry?
I think that the Malaysian people are good educated, and if they delay, then if we can meet, we can negotiate, we can discuss, and then usually people finally understand what our logic, then try to cooperate, or if they have a reason, and we can exchange the reason to find out the solution together. So I feel our default rate is pretty low. It's only 1.2% per annum. So it's quite low compared with as the industrial average rate is 5 to 10% I heard in overall. So I feel this way of what we are doing now it's very cooperative for small entrepreneur. So that's why they like this service. I really appreciate this attitude from Malaysian small business owner to cooperate with us, and it's quite fun, and I enjoy this job itself. On the other hand, of course, some 1% around is quite hard, and we facing some fraud or scammer all over the world. Always some percentage of the people have a bad intention to take money from us. So of course we know that as this is the first time in my life to do this business by myself. So that's why I always surprise them to how the people change during the assessment process. They pretended to be a good businessman, but after 1 month, drastically changed to no communication at all, or they ask me why I need to pay you. So I'm really surprised how people drastically change to the bad people, or those people are very intentionally to do this, to approaching us from beginning, and they pretended to are good, but actually bad. And then
so basically they're scammers, right?
Exactly. Or someone who's submitting fraud bank statement means they change themselves for the number, and then so it is like scammed case is the.
So they also want to scam the microfinance business.
Exactly. Our technology also developed to find out those scammer by OCR technologies. So it's like a competition. It's which one have a more high technologies, and to find out their scams technologies.
That's true. I mean, at least these days you have tech to help you, right? Weed out the bad people or the scammers or the people who just want to become con men in your industry. Yeah, if you could just go back, rewind to 2019. It's when you started Bee Informatica. If you could rewind back and the future Fumiko talking to the past Fumiko, what advice would you give to Fumiko then?
At the beginning, I think I can access more global accelerator program more. Of course, I started this journey from Malaysia, KL. So at that time, I tried to access a government accelerator program like a Magic or some fintech accelerator at that time. I tried my best at that time, but I found it in a Singapore or in Tokyo or US or in an online, there are more chances all over the world. At that time, I didn't know that. So, but now if I go back at that time and I can get more global information more, because we are global, maybe I can grow more faster, or to get more network faster, or to idea invention get more faster. Because I taken 5 years to finally access the VC money because of a lack of ideas or lack of strategies or lack of network or many things is back behind. Of course, always startup is like that. And then, so we have a very limited resource, information network, but we're struggling a lot. But now it's a good timing. So we have ChatGPT, we have online tools, and the global accelerator program.
What you're saying is true. I mean, there's so much information out there today with global accelerators. If you could plug into their network, I believe that growth will be far more interesting also, because you have different ideas from different parts of the world.
Exactly.
So, that's a great advice actually. For anyone who's listening to this episode and thinking, oh, if I want to start something, I want to be a startup, I want to start my business, and you have no ideas or even probably no funding, right? No funding, you can go to Fumiko and Bee Informatica. But if you have no ideas, or if you have no ideas or no strategies, and you really to learn from other people who have done it, I think it's good to start with, global accelerators. Just try to apply and get in and see exactly where you can go with that, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Silicon Valley also offer, Tokyo also offer, of course, Singapore also offer. So anywhere in Europe also offer. And we can take lessons online as well nowadays. So,
so
it's quite global.
The future is very bright if you know how to tap into different resources around us, right? So, Fumiko, final question. Where can people find you or connect with you or ask you for money?
Please log in to the fundingbee.my. So this is our new website. So please access funding.my then. So you can find our basic service and testimonies. Also, of course, and you can start before login to start application via our systems.
So everything is all online, right? I mean, for
all
Bee
online
Informatica,
now.
all online. So there's no need to walk into your office in Bangsa
no more.
or call anybody, call any of your staff. No, right?
No need.
So everything is fully online. You apply online, and you also upload your documents online for for your site to approve or check, right? Yeah.
Right. But if you have queries or some fears, any questions, and send us the queries we have a WhatsApp. So you can find a WhatsApp number in the bottom of the website.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of your company, Fumiko, is because right now you're still small enough to do this, I call it personalized service, where people can really access and talk to your team, compared to maybe a huge bank and you have to call in and you don't talk to anybody but a robot.
True. Exactly. So I think it's now the chance to talk to us directly.
Talk to you before they get, in future they may be talking to your robots, right? If they don't talk to you now.
Yeah, nice ideas to create in. Yeah. So fun.
So thank you, Fumiko. I had so many more questions. I had so many more questions actually, but I decided to focus only on this part because I think what we're doing is quite similar. You're offering funding to, I mean, it's particularly to just women entrepreneurs, or it's just any entrepreneurs? What's your focus or niche?
First of all, we focus on any entrepreneur, no matter what gender it is. But gradually, if we have to go to the next step and we can set up a women-focused service, especially I feel the women are a little bit fear for the financial topic. So there are we have ideas to set up the events, the women entrepreneurs especially, or the digital events or physical events, whatever. Because I'm a woman, so I really feel the women's pain and also fear for finance especially. So I hope Bee Informatica have to be differentiated to, especially for this women-focused service we can have, but not only women. I mean, we are open for anybody at this moment.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty smart because I think women, as you say, need some hand-holding and some help. So perfect. I mean, your niche is actually perfect. So thank you so much, Fumiko, for this very informative look at how women can access funds, especially if they are small or micro businesses.
Thank you for this opportunities, Krista.
Thank you.
What was your key takeaway from my conversation with Fumiko Inada? For me, it was the strategic move that she mentioned at the end of this episode. If you are starting out and you want to grow fast, you need to be part of a group or a network that accelerates your knowledge, resources, and contacts. It was quite fascinating to hear that Fumiko had wanted to start a purposeful business early on in her life and spent a good many years working for others, harnessing all her experiences to start her fintech company at the age of 38. Starting Bee Informatica was her proudest moment. Fumiko's journey shows us that when you're driven by a mission, whether it is empowering small businesses, supporting women entrepreneurs, or bringing innovation to an old industry, you can overcome even the toughest challenges, including starting over in a new country. Fumiko's story is a powerful example that business success and social impact don't have to be separate parts. She proves that you can build a thriving company, embrace technology, and still stay true to your values and your desire to help others. Her courage to take risks, adapt, and keep moving forward is something we can all learn from. So here's my question to you. What purpose or mission inspires you to keep going even when things get tough? How can you bring more of that into your work or business today? If you're new to this podcast, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on the latest episodes. For my returning listeners, please rate and review this podcast on your preferred app. Your feedback helps others discover and enjoy our show, and I'll see you next Friday for another brand new episode.